Hit play. Welcome to Slay the Spire, a new game for ProjectDETA. Who do you want to be?
Let's see. We have
The Ironclad, basically your soldier, kind of melee fighter, kind of weird guy, likes demons and shit. We have the Silent, your rogue, and the Defect, which is kind of like your wizard. So
oh shit! I unlocked the Defect.
You must have had a win with the Silent at some point.
I'm not gonna lie. This was like purchased how many weeks ago?
Many weeks ago.
Many weeks ago.
How many hours do you have in this game?
Not a lot.
Because you haven't played this much, so I don't know how much stuff you have unlocked. And I don't know what kind of deck archetype you want to go with. It really depends on what we get offered first. Because for the Ironclad, there's like two main builds. There's strength, and then there's block. Because the Ironclad is very good at multiplying. I believe we are now back.
Yes, we can continue.
Excellent. We will continue and start our first
this
fight.
microphone picked up my stomach.
I don't know. Would you? You should have had lunch, like I did.
I had breakfast.
But breakfast is not lunch, my good man. Breakfast is like, you know, breaking your fast. So, let's continue. After almost 7 minutes of running the clock.
Yes.
For a skip that you guys won't see.
Yep.
Okay. Commence.
Alright, so first of all, this is your... I would say...
It's the map. It's basically Okay, Slay the Spire. The whole storyline is there's a giant tower in this land filled with monsters and treasures and evil, and you are a great hero climbing the tower to defeat the evil at the top. Now you do this. This is a roguelike game, but it's very interesting because it is a card game as well. So if you click up on that on your deck, you start off with a basic starting deck of between 10 to 12 cards. Mm-hmm. And as you beat monsters, find treasure rooms, and etc., you might get new cards and you might get new relics. We already have two. Every class has a starting relic. We have Burning Blood, and you can get new relics which improve the way that you fight. It might give you more options. For example, we got Giria, which means we can gain strength at campfires up to 3 times, which is very useful. That strength is basically +1 damage, so that's awesome. We might end up going for a strength build because we have Giria. And I'm probably going to mispronounce that so many times, so I might just call it the kettlebell.
Alright, Agent, right? You already know what to do. Look at that counter already. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm full shenanigans on the head.
So, let's go.
Alright. I already said this game's going to already owe me dinner because, as you know, any randomizer game that Agentwright touches, I'm going to get a deep dick in this.
Yes. By the way, there's a giant space whale that is like at the start, yes. And if you get to the first boss during your first run, you will get a reward the next time you play. If you screw that up and die before the first boss, you don't get crap. That's why we got the kettlebell. So let's start.
So do we start from the left, or do
I would say left, because I've looked at the map and I have looked at a good path for us. We can hit 3 campfires before the first boss, which is awesome, meaning we would get the +3 strength.
Yes.
So let's start with the one on the left.
Alright, and our first enemy for the day
So
is...
we have the Jaw Worm, which will hit you for damage. It will also sometimes increase its own strength with a buff. Sometimes it will block. Usually it opens up on 11. So I would say hit it with Bash and then play the Defend. Alright. Because that means it will hit you for 6 damage, but we mitigate 6 damage at the end of the fight anyway. And then on next turn we can hit it really hard, and it might not hit us at all next turn, so that's pretty good. and we should have at least 2 strikes left in our deck. So yeah, we would hit it probably either once or twice, and then block either once or twice. It's usually okay to take damage early, because we're just going to gain it back. Also, I looked at the final boss already, and taking damage is actually a good thing for us. So with this, it's really whatever you want to do. I would say maybe at least block, yeah, either hit it twice and block once, or hit it 3 times.
You can get it.
18 plus 5, that's 23. You deal 6
Oh,
damage, which
that's right.
yeah, so it has 5 block, which is basically temporary hit points, as the D&D people would say. So I would probably just hit it once, and block at least once, and then it's up to you if you hit it another time. If you hit it another time, we should have at least 1 bash and a strike left in our deck, so we should definitely be able to kill it, because it's going to gain block this turn too. So yeah, you can definitely kill it with a bash and a strike.
Here we go.
Yeah. So we went back up to 76. That's great. At the end of each fight, we'll get gold, cards, sometimes a potion. If it's an elite fight, we might get relics, which are really good. So let's see what we get from this card, and let's see if we add anything to our deck. So Perfected Strike, we haven't removed any strikes. That's pretty good. Rupture, we don't have anything right now that reduces HP in our deck. So like if we take self-damage, and then Disarm is actually pretty okay. It makes an enemy lose 2 strength, and when exhaust basically means it's removed until the end of the combat. So I would say either Perfected Strike or Disarm. With Perfected Strike, you want to take more strikes. It makes it more aggressive of a deck, but it's also kind of a win condition, because the more strikes you have, the better it gets. So, and I usually don't play Perfected Strike decks, but they do work.
I'd say we're going to Disarm.
Okay.
Also, just like your common deck building games like Dominion or
Clank, or hell, Hearthstone even.
yes.
The card choices.
Card choices and keeping your eye on your deck count, because
Yeah.
sometimes a big deck in these type of games is usually not good,
Yeah.
especially when you're fishing for a certain card.
Yeah, and especially if you want to do combo decks, you usually have a thin deck. Actually, what I've read through game mechanics of Slay the Spire, a good average deck size is about 20. 20 cards is usually the best, unless if you're going for a specific mechanic. So now we have choices. We have a regular combat, a question mark, and a shop. We only have 10 gold, so we won't be able to buy anything from the shop.
Yes. You don't have enough.
Generally, if you want cards, go fight a monster. If you want relics and other cool options, you would go with a question mark. Question marks are usually better.
Also, you also want to look ahead, because once you go this way, we're stuck on the choice of these 2.
Yeah.
So in a way, it's kind of like Outrun as well. You got to pick your path.
Yeah. So I'd probably go with a question mark,
I
honestly.
will go with question mark.
Oh, I've only seen this once. So the We Meet Again event, you meet this random guy in the tower. As you can see, you can read that there, and he gives you a number of options. The only one we can do is either lose the card we just gained to get a relic, or attack him, which I don't know what happens when you attack him. But
I like relics.
I like relics. Relics are so good.
What do we get?
Oh, pen nib. Okay, so this is actually going really.
Oh man, my pants just got a little tight.
This is going really
like this
well, because we're going towards an aggressive build,
Yes.
and getting disarm out of an aggressive build is actually a pretty good thing.
Yes.
So we won't want cheap attacks.
We want attacks. All right, so the next one is a guaranteed.
Yeah.
Regular monk.
So this is one of the cultists. On his first turn, he applies a buff to himself that will give him 3 strength every turn, and after that, the only thing he does is attack. So it's basically hit him and kill him before he gets too strong to kill you.
Yes. So basically, we're going to smack
Yeah,
it.
and then this is basically a free time to attack it too.
Yes.
So 6 damage you would mitigate because of burning blood. So I would definitely hit him with bash. Basically, you want to keep enemies as vulnerable as you can. Bash applies vulnerability, which deals like 50% more damage when you hit them. You can also look at what's in your discard pile and in your draw pile at any time. So yeah, you're gonna hit him, and then probably twice because he's gonna be vulnerable for this turn, and then block once.
Yeah.
And you should be able to kill him next turn.
Yeah, a little scratch for, but we.
Yeah,
we
but
get to help that.
you actually healed 1 in this fight because you were at 76 and you're gonna get to 77.
And it's all right.
Yeah.
So we get some gold.
More
And
gold.
let's see what cards we have. We have.
Feel no pain. We don't really have any exhaust synergy yet. Clash, 0 mana attack that can only be played if there's only attacks in your hand, or Shrug It Off. Shrug It Off is always good, pretty much.
And it's always good to be able to draw too.
Yeah, it's a solid card. I really like it. Clash is also good, but we would have to get more attacks or remove defends,
Yeah.
which you can remove cards in your deck at shops and events, and some relics allow you to do that too. So, I mean, it's up to you.
Yeah, we'll just shrug it off.
Okay.
Alright, next up. Choices.
So, we still only have 29 gold. That was the biggest downside for taking that relic at the whale. So, you know what? Let's fight a monster. Because if we go to the question mark, we fight a monster anyway. And if we go to the monster, we're gonna get a question mark anyway. And then we could either choose to go to the elite or the campfire. Probably the campfire because we have Giria. So yeah, that makes sense. Monster.
Monster rolls.
Oh, these things are easy. Barely. So they also have updated a lot of the art and sounds recently. So with these, the louses, when you hit them for the first time, they gain block equal to their curl up number. So the first one will gain, what is that, 5 or 6?
5, and the back one will gain 7.
Yeah, so you can kind of plan your attacks. So you could kill the back line right now and only take 6. And actually, yeah, I would hit him because you just triggered your pen nib, so that will automatically kill it.
Yes.
So now you could either block and only take 1 damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you're gonna probably be fully healed at the end of this fight. So Shrug It Off will draw you a card,
Yeah.
and that might be another strike or your bash,
Yep.
which bash would be awesome here. So next turn, all you have to deal is 1 strike, and it's dead.
Excellent.
So far, so good. So now we have a potion. Fairy in the bottle, automatically, if you die, you heal back to 10.
Alright, we got a second chance, which is probably.
The thing is, with some multi-attacks, if you get hit on the first attack and die, it will bring you back to life, and then you will die in the second hit sometimes. I don't know if they fixed that yet. So Body Slam is good if we have block. Clash, again, is good if we are going aggressive, which we should be. And Headbutt is generically okay, and it's really good if we have something that we want to play a lot of, like Rampage. If we get a Rampage, that would be great with Headbutt.
Yeah.
But hey, we don't know if we're gonna get Rampage.
Let's go with Clash.
Clash is fine.
Thanks.
We're gonna have to
Do some.
We're gonna have to
Finagling.
do creative accounting but that should be fine.
Do we have to open up an Excel spreadsheet?
Oh yeah, totally.
Oh man.
So question mark.
And it's
Hey, a treasure chest. We get money and a relic. Okay, so every 3 times we shuffle the draw pile, we gain 2 energy. So, thin deck currently is good, so we shuffle more often. Another thing that would be really useful for us is a card that we can get at the shop called Deep Breath. It's 0 mana, draw 1 card. It's 0 mana, shuffle your discard pile into your deck, draw 1 card. If you upgrade it at Campfire, it's 2 cards. And that will help trigger Sundial. So now, do you want to fight the Elite, or do you want to just go to the Campfire?
we're at full health.
We are at full health.
Famous last words.
Maybe we will do okay. It depends on what the Elite is.
Let's go first.
Okay.
I like a.
Okay, so we have the Gremlin Knob. So we want to hit this guy as fast as we can to make it die. So basically, just keep hitting him. Which is good because we have Pen Nib, so we're going to attack a lot. Every time you play a skill card, which is your defense, he will gain 2 attack. 2 strength, which is plus 2 damage. So it's basically hit him until he dies.
Technically, you don't have to defend.
Yeah.
It's
You're going to take 6 damage, but you're also going to apply vulnerability, but that's automatic. So now, okay, this is great. So you're going to bash, you're going to strike, and you're going to clash, and you're only going to take 9. So far, this is pretty good. So, yeah, I mean, oh shit, you have defend in your hand. That's the bad thing about Clash.
Well,
And it's the thing
that's a counter.
It's the thing that I always forget. But that's okay. He's still only at 31 health left. So 3 strikes is 27 damage. And actually, slightly more because of Pen Nib. So,
Yes.
awesome.
Ooh.
So Wriggle Pillow is okay. Speed Potion is basically plus 5 dex for a turn, which is plus 5 block, basically, for each defend you play. Then new cards, we got Armaments, which is okay. True Grit, which it could be useful. And Iron Wave, which is kind of a trap card sometimes. When you first start playing, it's like, oh, that's really good. It's attacking and blocking for 1 mana, 1 card. But then as you play it, it's like, it's only like 7 damage at most upgraded. It's not that great. Armaments is okay. It's block and it upgrades your cards. But here's the thing. Actually, Iron Wave might be okay because we have Clash. Because it's an attack that gains you block.
Yes. Alright, let's rest.
We don't need to rest.
Let's
we need
lift.
to lift. We need to get swole for the next fight.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically we're gonna be
Pumping that iron.
yeah. And now we have a shop, and we can actually use the shop.
We
this
have
time.
money.
So here's
Like
the
crazy
shopkeeper.
person.
He's a nice guy. So let's see, what do we have that we can buy? We could buy Demon Form, which is really expensive. We have Orichalcum, which is the green bar relic, which at the end of the turn you gain 6 block, which if we're going aggressive is pretty good. Drop Kick is okay if we can apply more vulnerability. We only have 1 source of vulnerability right now, which is Bash,
Yeah.
which is kind of slow. But Orichalcum is not bad.
I think we go with that.
Yeah. Because it helps
There
with the
goes.
clash, because we won't have to defend. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so we have treasure chests both ways. It's up to you.
Yeah, because we'll take the treasure, we'll beat up some random enemy, and then we get to pump some more iron.
Yeah. And then the other way would be...
You pump some more iron, then you beat up an enemy.
and then what's higher? So, yeah, I mean, if you go to the right chest, you can get 2 question marks. If you go to the left chest, because we want to hit the campfire.
Yeah.
I think the right chest is better.
Alright. Really good.
Hey, lantern, that's always good. We gain an extra energy on the first turn. So we have 4 energy turn 1.
Awesome.
So that will allow us to hit more things faster.
Alright.
Okay, campfire time.
Alright.
Let's
Pump it up.
Okay. Let us continue and fight. Also, I would recommend at some point taking some damage, because our boss for this floor is the Hexaghost, which its first attack is X 6 times, and that X is depending upon how much health you have. The more health you have, the harder it's going to hit you.
Oh. Oh.
Now, so you want to have a little less health, but not too low. You know what I mean? You could kill that thing in the back right now. And then you could Iron Wave and block and take 1 damage. And block and take 1 damage.
Or take more damage and not get...
True. And you're gonna
Also, I am very reckless.
So, Bash is always good here.
So from time to time, you may sound like we're bickering.
Oh, we will.
It's more of the Abbot trying to keep me from killing
I mean,
ourselves.
a little damage is fine. Which, we're gonna heal anyway, so, yeah.
Just make sure you don't...
Yeah, 7 damage is fine. Which, 1 damage is fine, because we have Auric Alchem. I forgot about that, too.
See, we're good.
So, Clash is useless because we have 2 defense in our hand.
So let's continue.
So, Bash is great, and then you can just kill it. So we go up 70. We lost 1 HP in this fight.
Oh my god, can we heal too much?
Okay. Oh, Pommel Strike is always good.
Oh yes.
So, do you want to do two question marks, or a fight and 1 question mark?
2 question marks.
2 question marks.
So question mark number 1 is...
We have no money.
You broke, you. Get away from me.
Yeah, so the cleric is a random cleric that will help you along the way. The one that requires 35 gold is a heal. The one that says requires 50 gold is a card removal. That would have been really good for us because we would have been able to remove one of our defense. But we don't have that, so let's leave.
Yeah, inside of our wallet is a spider, cobwebs.
You just open it up and a moth flies out. Also, we don't trust him apparently. You know.
No, we trust him. It's just that we're dirt poor at the moment.
Yeah, we don't like. Could you give us a discount, bro? Okay.
All right.
Oh, this one's interesting. So, there's a dead body. You can look for loot, and you might get an elite monster to come fight you. You might find gold, you might find potions. If you keep going, you might either get a monster to attack you, or you might just get a relic.
Yeah, I'm feeling lucky.
Let's feel lucky. Yay, gold.
I'm not feeling lucky.
No, keep going. We can fight it. That's a good thing.
You know what? Yeah.
Hey,
oh my god.
Check that out. We got bronze scales. That's awesome. So, I think the next time if you hit find loot, you might get more gold or a potion.
Continue searching. At this point, you're giving the dead corpse a reach around.
You have one more time. It's a 75% chance. Oh, it's another knob. You found the dead man's knob.
Kinky.
Yeah. So I would Pommel Strike first. And then, so Pen Nip is active, so we can deal like 16 plus numbers of damage. Which is pretty good. I would just attack. He's not attacking you, so you don't need to take damage. So we have already cut his life in half. So this was actually a good thing for us. So what you could do, you could bash, which is great. And then Iron Wave is also great. And that means you only take like 9 damage, which will be damage eventually.
Yes.
And now it's just kill him until he dies.
Alright, cool.
Beautiful. Yeah, so you get an energy potion, so that's like 2 free energy for a turn. Some more gold in the card. Okay, so it's another Clash. Dual Wield, which is my favorite card in the game. Or Body Slam, which is pretty useless to us.
Let's go do.
Okay, cool. That will allow us to have more bashes, more clashes, more
Smashes.
more Iron Waves, etc.
More words that rhymes with smash.
So we have an elite fight or a regular fight. Do you feel lucky again? We've only seen one elite so far, technically.
It's
We
always
just seen
been
it
some-
twice.
I'm tired of seeing this dungeon's random mob.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it would be... It shouldn't be the Knob again, because you faced him once in an elite fight. So it's going to be the Lagavulin or the Sentries. The Lagavulin would probably suck, and the Sentries would also suck, but for a different reason.
Let's go with a regular fight.
Okay.
I mean, we're already.
Oh, a thief. We have like no money anyway, so
Haha, joke's on you. Our pockets are empty.
yeah, we're poor.
That's so fucking sad. We're broke. No, we're college students.
Take damage. Oh, you should take damage.
Oh shit. Look, man. It's a natural reaction.
It's a natural reaction. You don't want pain. Okay, this is cool. Shrug it off. Yeah, and hope you don't draw a defend. That way we can. Okay, dual wield the clashes. So now we have 2 clashes. We use those first, and it dies.
God, that's just not fair. That guy had no chance. Now, give me our money back.
Yeah, you get the money back, which is nice. Now, block potion could actually be really useful to us. I think it is actually better than the speed potion right now, which is the middle one.
So we shall screw it.
Yeah, because we don't really have that many defensive cards.
Yeah.
And so Hemokinesis, Scene Red, or Reaper, they're all okay, actually. I mean, Scene Red just gives you extra energy, which is fine for a turn, which is not bad. Reaper heals you, but only it's an AoE. So for the next fight, it's gonna heal you for 4. And Hemokinesis is lose 3 HP, deal 14.
Let's see, Red.
Okay.
Alright, time to pump it up one more time. Oh, yeah.
Now this is interesting because usually I would have upgraded like 3 cards by now. But, I mean, gaining strength is basically like upgrading our base cards anyway.
Yes. Alright. First balls.
So he's gonna
Be
wait.
confused.
He's planning his attack. On his next turn, he's gonna hit you real hard.
Ouch.
So bash and then just hit him really hard too. I don't know if you want to use the Pummel Strike, because if it's 12 damage, but you draw a card.
Yeah.
Now the great thing is, so 7x6, that's 42 damage, but he's gonna take damage because of her Bronze Thorns. So that he's gonna take 18 damage from hitting us. So I'd probably Iron Wave. Like, I'd probably be as defensive as possible. So that's Iron Wave and 2 defends. And then that, if you want to use the block potion, you can. If you don't and want to save that for later, that's fine too.
Yes.
Okay, so you're basically blocking slightly more than half,
Yes.
which is good. And he's gonna take.
Alright.
And now, we can do some fun things. So we can't use Clash yet. So what we could do,
That's only for you.
we could shrug it off. See what we get. Wait. Scene red. Alright. Now we can play to defend. Play the dual wield, copying our Clash.
Alright.
And then play all of those.
Alright. Okay, no. Okay, we're good.
Alright. That was fine. And we've blocked. Now, the burns are gonna suck for Clash. So, we got dual wield again, which we could dual wield the Iron Wave.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we could play both of those, because that will block us fully and deal 16 damage.
Yes.
And then next turn we have our pen nib up for a big swing. So, burns suck, but we can hit him for 18 and then another 18. And only take like 8 damage this turn, which is actually less damage, only 2 damage. That's great. Or Calcum saving her ass.
Yes.
So we have 2 clashes now. So I would bash, defend, double clash. And check it out, he's at 15. And he hasn't even hit his second phase yet. So can we deal 27 damage? The 9 would go up to what? 13? If you hold and hover the attack over the bad guy, it will tell you how much damage it does with the vulnerability. It should be like 13 or 14. Like literally hover it over him. Yeah, 13. So, and then Iron Wave would deal another 12.
Yeah.
So that's 25 damage. Which is 2 off. But he's gonna hit you. He's gonna hit you. All you need to do is Iron Wave and strike and he's dead. Because he's gonna kill himself on you in the first hit.
Alright.
Awesome. We have defeated our first boss. We get a bunch of money and a rare card to add to our deck. So, Bludgeon sucks. Berserk is extra energy, but you gain vulnerable, so enemies will hit you 50% more damage. Or Demon Form, which is expensive, but we actually have a lot of energy relics. We have Lantern and Sundial.
Yes.
And we're doing a strength build anyway.
Yeah. Alright.
And we might get an energy relic on this, which would be really good.
Alright.
So,
We have?
Orrery, so you can add up to 5 cards to your deck. Busted Crown, which is very good, but it lets you see less cards as you climb, which might be bad for us because there's still cards that we need. The Philosopher's Stone, basically everything deals 2 extra damage to you if you take that. So, generally it is best to take an energy relic, unless if they're like really bad. Philostone is it's one of the ones that could be bad because now everything is hitting you more, and there's a lot of multi-attacks which get better with +2 strength. So do you want to take 5 cards and see what we get or not?
Yeah, let's take 5 cards and see what we get.
Yeah. So when you take that, it will show you 5 cards. Let's look at all of them. So Perfected Strike, Dropkick, Thunderclap. Thunderclap is pretty good. You can even hit skip and come back to it. So another Perfected Strike and Rampage. We might be taking Perfected Strikes because that's 2 already. Oh, Rage. Rage is real good in this deck. Flex is always good. Headbutt is okay.
Quirks.
Yeah, Flex is basically gain 2 strength, lose 2 strength. Pommel Strike, we already have 1. Did you already take the 1 Perfected Strike? Yeah, so take the Pommel Strike and take the other Perfected Strike. So now we're going to be upgrading.